What is all-pervading Brahman? According to Advaita Vedanta, Brahman is the ultimate reality and is all-pervading. It is the supreme and witnessing consciousness that underlies and pervades all of creation. In Advaita Vedanta, Brahman is considered to be beyond all dualities and is described as pure existence, pure consciousness, and pure bliss. It is not limited by time, space, or causation, and is beyond the reach of the senses and the mind. According to Advaita Vedanta, the individual self or ego, or sometimes known as jiva, is not separate from Brahman, but is an illusory appearance of it. The goal of spiritual practice is to realize this fundamental unity and to experience the true nature of the self as Brahman. Through the practice of self-inquiry and meditation, one can come to the realization that the true self is not the limited individual ego, but the all-pervading Brahman or witnessing consciousness. This realization is known as self-realization or enlightenment, and it is the ultimate goal of spiritual life according to Advaita Vedanta. Why is the all-pervading Brahman or witnessing consciousness lost in its own creation on the influence of Avidya or Maya? According to Advaita Vedanta, the all-pervading Brahman or witnessing consciousness appears to be lost in its own creation due to the power of Maya, which is the principle of illusion or ignorance. Maya creates the illusion of duality and multiplicity in the world, which makes it appear as if there are many separate objects and entities, including individual self or jivas, and the world itself. This illusion is a result of the limitations of the mind and senses, which are unable to grasp the true nature of reality. Through the power of Maya, Brahman appears to become the world and the individual self that inhabit it. The individual self are identified with their bodies, minds, and egos, which creates a sense of separateness and limitedness. This identification with the limited individual self is what creates suffering and keeps us bound in the cycle of birth and death. However, according to Advaita Vedanta, the illusion of Maya can be overcome through spiritual practice, such as self-inquiry, meditation, and devotion. By realizing the true nature of the self as Brahman, one can become free from the limitations of Maya and experience the ultimate reality of oneness and unity. Snake and rope game. How we destroy elusive snake by knowing fully what is not and finally know about the actual truth about rope. The snake and rope analogy is often used in Advaita Vedanta to illustrate the illusion of Maya. The analogy suggests that a person may mistake a rope lying on the ground for a snake and experience fear and anxiety as a result, even though there is no actual snake present. In this analogy, the rope represents the ultimate reality of Brahman, while the mistaken perception of the snake represents the illusion of Maya. The illusion is caused by a lack of understanding or ignorance, just as mistaking the rope for a snake is caused by insufficient light or poor vision. Similarly, in the world of duality and multiplicity, individuals may mistake the appearance of the world for reality and become attached to it. This attachment causes suffering and keeps individuals bound to the cycle of birth and death. However, through spiritual practice, one can develop the understanding and insight necessary to see through the illusion of Maya and realize the ultimate reality of Brahman. This realization leads to liberation from suffering and the attainment of enlightenment or self-realization. In summary, the snake and rope analogy in Advaita Vedanta suggests that just as mistaking a rope for a snake is an illusion caused by ignorance, mistaking the world for reality is also an illusion caused by the power of Maya. In this video, we will talk in depth about the nature of the snake in the example of the snake and the rope, and we will also make an effort to understand the actual truth, which is the rope is what exists in reality. Creation of 5 subtle elements. According to Advaita Vedanta, the 5 subtle elements arise from the cosmic vibration of sound. This cosmic vibration is known as Om in ancient India. Therefore, the first subtle element that arises is subtle ether or space, followed by subtle air or Vayu, subtle fire or Agni, subtle water or Jala, and finally subtle earth or Prithvi. These subtle elements directly link to different capabilities. They are 1. Pure or subtle or sukshma ether or akasha related to capability of hearing, sound or shabda. 2. Pure or subtle or sukshma air or Vayu, related to capability of touch or sparsha. 3. Pure or subtle suction of fire, or Agni, related to capability of seeing. 4. Pure or subtle suction of water, or Jala, related to capability of taste or rasa. 5. Pure or subtle suction of earth, or Prithvi, related to capability of smell or gandha. After they manifested one by one, these 5 subtle elements create a parent subtle body by coming with one another. Remember, till this time this parent subtle body is like a linga form. That's why this subtle body is known as Linga Sharir. From that Linga Sharir, 5 sense organs, namely eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. It is also known as Jnanendriya, or organs of knowledge. Brahman created 5 Karmanandriya, or organs of action. They are hands, feet, speech, genital, and anus. After this, 5 vital airs, or pranas, is formed. They are prana, apana, samana, udana, and vyana. After all 15 aspects of subtle body are formed, the act of remembering or manas is arise, and then intellect, or buddhi, ahankara, or ego, or identity also come into existence. But if intellect is free from memory, that intellect is known as chitta in ancient India. Chitta and general intellect are different, as chitta is directly linked with Brahman and general intellect is restricted by memory. As in reality, memories are a combination of different boundary. This subtle body of 19 elements is known as Hiranyagarbha in Advaita Vedanta. In today's world, it is known as cosmic egg in modern science. From this Hiranyagarbha, or parent subtle body, all the other subtle bodies of living beings arise. Now the Brahman has different subtle bodies where he is residing. In next step, just like the subtle state, a gross state is created by the same Brahman. The gross state is mainly created by 5 gross elements. These gross elements are a combination of 5 subtle elements in different quantities. The formation of these 5 gross elements are 1. Gross ether, or akasha, equals 1/2 subtle ether plus 1/8 subtle air plus 1/8 subtle fire plus 1/8 subtle water plus 1/8 subtle earth. 2. Gross air, or Vayu, equals 1/2 subtle air plus 1/8 subtle ether plus 1/8 subtle fire plus 1/8 subtle water plus 1/8 subtle earth. 3. Gross fire, or Agni, equals 1/2 subtle fire plus 1/8 subtle air plus 1/8 subtle ether plus 1/8 subtle water plus 1/8 subtle earth. 4. Gross water, or Jala, equals 1/2 subtle water plus 1/8 subtle air plus 1/8 subtle fire plus 1/8 subtle ether plus 1/8 subtle earth. 5. Gross earth, or Prithvi, equals 1/2 subtle earth plus 1/8 subtle air plus 1/8 subtle fire plus 1/8 subtle water plus 1/8 subtle ether. JIVAS, or individual Brahman. When an aspect Brahman and his subtle body resides in a gross body made from 5 gross elements, that whole thing is known as JIVAS, or living beings, or individual Brahman. 14 LOKAS. According to Advaita Vedanta, the 14 worlds, or LOKAS, are created by the combination and interaction of the 5 gross elements and the 5 subtle elements. These worlds are said to exist in a hierarchical order, with the higher worlds being more subtle and spiritual than the lower worlds. The 7 higher worlds are 1. Bhuloka, the earth or physical world. 2. Bhuvaloka, the world of the atmosphere, space or intermediary world. 3. Svarloka, the world of the sun, moon and stars. 4. Mahaloka, the world of the great sages and saints. 5. Janaloka, the world of the divine beings. 6. Tapaloka, the world of the ascetics and practitioners of penance. 7. Satyaloka, the world of the truth or highest spiritual world. The remaining 7 worlds are considered lower worlds. 1. Atala, world of the demons who are under the control of the demon king Bali. 2. Vaitala, world of serpents and Nergis. 3. Sutala, world of Asuras. 4. Talatala, world of the Asura architect Maya. 5. Mahatala, world of the great serpents. 6. Rasatala, world of the demon king Bali. 7. Patala, world of the Nagas or the snakes. These worlds are not physical locations, but are states of consciousness and experiences that are created by the cosmic powers of Brahman. They are believed to be accessible through spiritual practices and are ultimately considered illusory and transient, as they are subject to the cycle of birth and death. Thus, this is the knowledge of creation according to Advaita Vedanta. But always remember, the ultimate goal of every individual jiva is to realize their true nature as Brahman, the ultimate reality that is pure consciousness and the source of all creation. This realization is referred to as moksha or liberation, and it is achieved through the removal of ignorance and the attainment of self-knowledge. Advaita Vedanta teaches that the jiva, or individual soul, is not separate from Brahman, but rather an expression or reflection of it. The jiva's true nature is pure consciousness, but it is limited by ignorance and identification with the body-mind complex. The goal of spiritual practice is to remove this ignorance and realize one's true nature as Brahman. This realization is not just intellectual, but also experiential. It involves the direct experience of one's true nature as pure consciousness, beyond all the limitations of the body and mind. Through spiritual practices such as meditation, self-inquiry, and the study of scripture, an individual can purify their mind and remove the obstacles to this realization. Once the jiva realizes its true nature as Brahman, it is liberated from the cycle of birth and death and attains eternal bliss and peace. This is the ultimate goal of every individual according to Advaita Vedanta.